Can I get an A? Aquarius, this is your ethereal news for December 2020. Aquarius. So Aquarius, it seems as if you fell out of love with somebody. Possibly you fell out of love with yourself. However, there's this split. There's this split happening with you and this other energetic force. This energetic force that you're splitting with, it could be, like I said, it could be you, yourself, or it could be with another person. However, there's some sort of uncertainty why there is this split. It's like a disconnect. So you could be falling out of love with, like I said, yourself or another person, but as we continue, we'll know if it's with some other individual or this is pertaining to yourself, Aquarius, because Aquarius, there is this narcissistic energy around you right now, Aquarius. That's why I keep mentioning it could be pertaining to yourself, okay? And there's a lot of fated events that's going to happen for you this month, Aquarius. Okay. So Aquarius, it seems as if I feel like for you, for some reason, the energy surrounding Aquarius feels very unsure. So either you're feeling very unsure of, it has to do with love, okay? Not just love in general, but love you have with somebody that you're strongly connected to. And it could also be yourself, of course. We've went over that. However, the inclination of how you're trying to understand these emotional ties that you have with somebody else or yourself is, the clarity is coming in very, very slow, okay? So it's almost like you're keeping it very grounded because the energy surrounding this subject seems very unclear. So you're just taking your time with this subject. It's almost like you're avoiding it. You don't really. I feel like there's something very important to talk about. There's something fated coming up, and it has to do with a strong connection with either your inner self or with a particular person that you have a strong connection with. And there's some like cloudiness surrounding this topic, which is why, because of the uncertainty, you're taking it really slow. You're being very methodical about it. You're thinking when can you address this, how you're going to address it. So it's very slow because you're just getting your strength back. I feel like lately you haven't been as courageous as you usually are, Aquarius. So your strength now is coming back to you, and I'm really thinking that this other energetic force, whether it be yourself that you're kind of fighting with, or this other person that you're strongly connected with, they're definitely mirroring back to you something inside of you. Because why I say that, this other energetic force, either you inside or this other person you're strongly connected with, is the opposite of your energy. However, it's being mirrored back to you. Because you know how they say opposites attract? Well, this other energetic force, and actually now that I'm seeing it, it's not so much you, it's so much something that's being mirrored back to you. So you can take within, because there's those same qualities. And I want to say narcissistic, because that's what's coming to me now, is there's this narcissistic quality about you that's being mirrored back to you through this other person, which is why you can't really put your finger on what it is that this subject that needs to be discussed with this important person in your life, that is, it's come down to it, because this is some fated events happening for you, Aquarius, in December, pertaining to this person that you are connected with, that you're tied with emotionally, and it is on a basis where, if it's not romantic, it's someone that you're closely involved with and you have a lot of love for. However, this person is mirroring back something to you, and it's about how narcissistic you've been, and that's where the heads are being butted, because this other person is being the way you are inside. So it's like showing you, hey, this is how you're being, but you don't like what you're experiencing because they're being narcissistic and stubborn. But they're mirroring that back to you because that's the way you're being. So there's really an opposing force here, and it has a lot to do with it's almost like it could have been someone that you fell out of love with that has come back to you in the past. A past lover that you got re-involved with, and it's almost like you guys are going through the same struggle that caused you guys to split in the first place, which is basically just narcissism and stubbornness. Let's keep going. So Aquarius, this person is very emotional though, has a very emotional side. And they tend to have a bit of a grasp on their emotions. So they're not as dramatic as you. It's funny because what I'm seeing here is you can be very super cold and detached. That's what they're seeing. But when it comes down to it, you're like, you lash out very dramatically. Okay? And however, there's a strong connection, because with this lover of yours, this lover reminds you of your mother, which is why you hold on and you just don't give up on this person. However, with that being said, I feel like both of you all are starting to tap into different qualities of yourself. I think that maybe, let's see. I'm going to say your lover is tapping into their emotional side more. And you're tapping into this other side where you don't want to show your emotions and you want to be hot-headed and ill-tempered. And maybe your lover is feeling more introverted at this time and you're feeling more extroverted, and there's kind of like a rift between you two's energy, so to say. I'm just seeing this whole situation between you and this other person. I feel like it's causing you to reconnect with a lot of other different people. And it's like you almost wouldn't reconnect with these other people if it hadn't been for, this tough situation you're in with your significant other. We'll just say it like that, significant other, because this person is dear to you. However, it's like you're surrounding yourself again with people that aren't necessarily the best influence on you. I'm going to say it like that. And I think maybe you should just really take your time with this situation and not so much go hang out with that crowd, because, I don't know if it could be like old friends or whatever, but I think maybe you need to really cultivate that love again with this person and really respect their emotions, because I think they're trying to show you something. I think they're trying to help you balance your emotions by them being more introverted and keeping to themselves and having this emotional virtue within themselves, because I think it took them time to get there. And I think that would benefit you more, is to stay and work this out with the other person. Take your time with it, of course, in a methodical way. And really tap into your emotions, Aquarius, and let your significant other help you with that. I don't think going out with your friends right now to escape this is going to help, because I think they're being a bad influence on you. Okay? So, let's see. Yeah, because there's a tug and pull going on. Okay, I think that this friendship circle of yours that I don't think is the best influence, they're trying to tug you away from this situation you're in. not necessarily trying to get you away from your significant other, but they're trying to tell you to come out and play, and it's not really the best time, because what they're doing is how they're playing is not, they're not really involving themselves in anything that is going to benefit you. Let's just say it like that. So I would just stay clear of, that crowd, okay? And kind of just keep to yourself and your significant other, and try to cultivate what you already have there within that relationship, okay? Because I see your family, especially your ancestors. This could be mom, dad, older brother, sister, aunt, uncle, grandpa, grandma, great-grandma, great-grandpa. Just some sort of like elders, some knowledge. I feel like they're trying to really help you with this situation, because I think this situation does tie into matters of the home, okay? And there's this strong connection with mom that I'm seeing within this matter. And at the end of the month, the wisdom that you seek is going to come in real quick. And it's almost like these wise people, whether they be family or just friends, they are trying to keep you out of some sort of legal situation, so you don't have to end up in any court. So you don't have to end up in a court matter, because it could quickly go down that route. So I hope this makes sense to you, Aquarius, and I'm trying to explain this the best way I can, but that's what I'm seeing in the cards. And this read is definitely, there's a lot of fate to it, but there's also a lot of answers to this situation that seems very deep that you're in, okay? But like I said, this has everything to do with another person mirroring back something about yourself that you're learning. I feel like this whole month is going to be you getting to know yourself better through this other person that you have a strong connection with that was from your past, okay?